Hey everyone, it's Dragon Rider, Queen of Cards, and we have yet again more neutrals. We are really chugging away through these neutrals. So we have these cards that were revealed on the 4gamer.net Chinese website. So I'll have a link for that below. Please make sure that you go click that and help support all of the creators who have revealed these cards. And let's start with the Origami Crane. Now, this is the second origami card that we've seen, so it is going to be a similar effect to the Origami Dragon that we saw yesterday. So this one is 4 mana, 4/1, Beast with Taunt and Battlecry, swap health with another minion. Okay, so this isn't just swapping complete stats, it's only the health, but yet again, the base stats of this are 1 health, so you can get this back from Jepetto. It has Taunt, so ideally you're probably going to want to swap the health with something that has a pretty high health, and then you also get to set, ideally, one of your opponent's minions that you traded health with to 1 and easily get to kill off their large minion. These cards, these origami minions that we've seen so far, are really cool. I think these provide both removal and tempo at the same time, which is just fantastic. And again, there's synergies like the Jepetto. This one is a beast, so you could potentially have some sort of beast synergy or like buffing maybe. But since this is neutral, this can give classes that don't really have removal a removal tool, like Hunter, for example. Generally, Hunter doesn't really have a ton of removal options. They generally do have to use things like their minions on board or some other like buffs, rush minions, maybe a weapon. They don't usually have a lot of like direct target type spells. So to be able to use something like this, and maybe if they do have a small spell like arcane spells or something, you can finish it off or make a trade with a small minion. But I love this card. This is super cool. And also the artwork is fantastic. Like this just like rainbow sparkly colored Origami Crane is gorgeous. And I love it so much. Like I love the colors. So all of this, like the set artwork and this art is just fantastic. I am loving it. So I think this card is super cool and I love it. Then we have Lina, Shop Manager. It's a 6 mana 3/3. Whenever you cast a spell, fill your board with random minions of that cost. Okay, this effect is similar to stuff that we have seen before in the past, and I do feel like those cards have been kind of hit or miss in terms of if they show up in constructed decks, especially like more top meta decks. And I feel like the times that we did see these cards really be utilized was in decks that kind of wanted to take advantage of big board states they didn't care what the minions were, they just wanted a lot of minions on the board to utilize a big board buff or things like a board evolve effect with Shaman. So if there is something like that, I definitely can see this being played in some sort of deck like that. Or the other case I can see this being used is in some sort of like big spell deck where you play this and then you play maybe spells that are like 7 and higher and you just try to get huge boards of like gigantic minions. We'll see if those end up being competitive or whatnot. It's really going to depend on the meta overall and what kind of counterplay and answers opponents can have. If it's a meta where there's not a lot of like big board removals, wide board removals, then I can definitely see this being a decent option for some decks to be able to just kind of put out a board. They don't really care what the minions are. They just get on board and then be able to the following turn push a lot of damage with whatever minions are there. But if there is a lot of removals, a lot of brawls, a lot of just, again, wide board answers, things like Priest, Death Knight, Warrior, just having removal for large boards, it's probably not going to really be as effective or do quite as much unless you can get multiple copies of this somehow and actually get to do some repetitive board filling. And then our final card is the Nostalgic Clown. This is a 5-mana 6/5 with Miniaturize and Battle Cry. If you've played a higher cost card while holding this, deal 4 damage. Okay, so because it's the Miniaturize, it also has the mini, so the 1-mana 1/1. Also, if you've played a higher cost card, it will deal 4 damage. The first body, and I'm starting to kind of see this with a lot of these Miniaturize, the first body is like, it's okay. It's actually decent stats, and you might actually be able to get the 4 damage off of it. You're going to have to play something that costs 6 or more to get that. But the mini, you just have to play something that's 2 cost or more to be able to get a 4 damage that you can direct wherever you want with that damage. You can direct it to a minion, or you can send it to your opponent's face. So this is potentially over-the-top damage that you can get a few different times, because you can get it with the base clown and then the mini clown. So I think this is pretty neat. We're going to have to see if this gets slotted in somewhere. I feel like these Miniaturized cards are a little bit difficult to judge exactly how popular I think they're going to be, because you do have to kind of pay a little bit more or have some sort of mid to later game, I would say, type of plays to set up for these. Like this one, you have to, again, play something that's 6 cost or higher while this is in your hand, then play this, then you have the mini. So it's kind of a multi-turn potentially, or like there's a little bit of setup required for it. Whereas some of the Miniaturized cards that we've seen, like Toy Captain Taram, are a little bit more easy to just play whenever you need them. This one you do have to do a little bit of setup, but it does have a good effect. So this could be pretty powerful and could be an additional, again, like over-the-top damage, direct damage to your opponent's face that some decks might really, really want or want to try to capitalize on. Maybe there's even things like in Rogue being able to shadow step something like this, play it back. I don't know if you would. That's kind of a little bit expensive. Again, that initial setup, but we'll see. I don't know. I still kind of like it. I do generally like these deal direct damage type of cards, especially when you get to choose where that damage goes. It does make it a little bit more flexible. Well, those are the cards that were revealed by 4gamer.net. Again, I'll have that linked below. Please go check it out. Thank you so much for checking this video out. And don't forget to check out the whole playlist here where you can see all of my thoughts and all of the videos that I've done for all of the card reveals. Thank you for checking this video out, and I'll see you in the next one.